sheet show there were 340 people interviewed during the last drawdown. In the following year, another 340 people interviewed. And the conclusion was double the jobs, double the money for the economy. So that question's been answered.
I know some people who agree with that study and some who don't. Like most studies.
Well, let me also reply that if somebody doesn't agree with the University of Florida, there's no law that says we're the only ones who can go out and get a study. If they think that they can go out and spend another $30,000 and hire somebody with better credentials than the University of Florida economic professors, no law is stopping them.
Right. Yeah, we provided them a great deal of the data that went into that study, as far as visitation numbers from numerous locations along with Marion County Parks and Recreation, and their traffic counters. Yes, sir.
In the previous study, Chris was 40 years old.
Yeah, there was a question, one of the comments, actually it was a comment in the newspaper article from Jim Coulard, the Parks Director of Marion County, and said, well, a study hasn't, economic study has been done in a long time. That was also a part of the reason for getting the economic study done. Now, are we gonna wait and let it become another ancient study?
Like I said, that decision's way above my pay grade.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
No, I was just going to comment that people in favor of removing the dam, when bringing up economic studies, the economic studies of ecotourism is not going to pass an eye test of the people that are currently using it. There's a kayak ramp between 19 and the river. That kayak ramp, it might have 3, 4 people on a weekend. At the dam, there's probably 50, 60 families per day, low-income families, that are using those facilities every weekend.
That's not gonna leave.
That's not
There's,
gonna
there's
change.
nothing to say that's gonna go away.
If we restore the dam, that will leave.
No, it won't.
That will not be.
No. No, sir. With the channel that's gonna be broken is going to be next to the dam. Okay, it's gonna connect the historic channel.
That will no longer be a viable fishing location.
Yeah, well,
It will. It'll still have water.
it won't change,
The fishing quality will not be there.
because they'll be able to migrate.
Because they'll be able to migrate into the river, which is the point. They can migrate into the river where they're supposed to be.
Hey, everybody. I'm sorry, and again, you all can always have this discussion outside. I don't think there's a whole lot of question as far as.
We need to have this discussion.
In this room on this issue. Yes,
I want
Commissioner
to
Harvey.
thank you for coming and doing this. I know there's feelings on both sides. We appreciate that. At the end of the day, it's about the water. Let me trust you. It's not about the fishing. It's not about this. It's about water. 21 billion gallons of water. And I told a reporter one day, I'll drink out of the reservoir.
What's the
drink out of the spillway
evaporation rate?
if you drink off the Jacksonville landing. He said, I can't do that. Guys, we do agree on more than you think you do, but I've got to be in Tallahassee at 8 o'clock tomorrow morning. So good night, everybody.
Larry, if I may, before you leave, can I get someone from Water Management to talk about the evaporation rate off of that water?
No, you don't want to
Because you don't want to hear it?
No.
Is that why?
Okay, anything else pertaining to the drawdown?
I had a question.
We've got about 20 minutes left
Just
for
a-
our scheduled time.
Just,
He had his up first, then I'll get you. Yeah.
Drawdowns seem like random experiments. And like you say, each one is different. What do you learn from each of the drawdowns? Or what might you learn from this particular one coming up? Will it be any different? Will things happen? Are you always surprised by something with a drawdown?
You know, because the weather is such a huge factor, that's, you know, the thing that, depending on what the weather regime is like the 2012 drawdown with the severe drought, the record drought, that was unprecedented to my knowledge. And the flows coming out of Silver River and nothing from the upper Ocklawaha, the creeks were all dried up. I mean, it was very dramatic. Then, you know, you seem to get comments and people wanting to talk to people like me when you're in extremes, when there's either huge floods and, water everywhere, or when there's not much water. When things are kind of average and in the middle, you don't get so many phone calls, emails. That's one of the biggest things I've learned. Not that that's surprising. Watching the aquatic plant communities change over the last 20 years, like I described earlier, and that's not just a snapshot, that's over the last 20 years and 4 or 5 drawdowns. That's been pretty dramatic. And then, seeing more increased manatees in the reservoir, and that's not just because of the drawdowns. There's more manatees, and I think more of them are coming in there. At least my observations are telling me that. And we have them overwintering in Silver River and going further upstream than I think anybody knows of, up into the Harris chain of lakes and stuff, as has been observed in the last few years. And those are good things. So a lot of those things are good.
So
Yes, sir.
what's a county commissioner? Karen, what's a county commissioner doing going to Tallahassee?
License these little,
No, it's all in my head. I plan on writing a book when I retire in about 7 or 8 years.
well, not necessarily, but it's fascinating observation.
Yeah. I've got my day planners and I make notes, and, yes, sir, back there in the back. Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, ma'am.
I'm sorry I was late. I work in Gainesville.
Okay.
It takes me a while to
I
get.
know I live in Gainesville. I have to make that drive back tonight with you.
So, thank you for letting us participate in this meeting and give you our input. My name is Lisa Mazzola. I'm a member of the Suwannee Sierra St. John's Sierra Club and a very interested citizen. Realizing that the Ocklawaha River should have been fully restored several decades ago, we wish to express our long-standing commitment to the restoration of the Ocklawaha River to a free-flowing condition. We believe that having already spent $300,000 on debris removal this last year, any additional funding for repairs of the Rodman Dam at this time will be counterproductive. Had the dam been removed and the river restored as has been prescribed by law, none of this additional spending would have been necessary. Also, had the dam been removed and the river restored, aquatic vegetation spraying costing approximately $20,000 would not have been necessary. We recommend the Florida Department of Environmental Protection secure the necessary funding from the legislature that will restore the Ocklawaha River, including the removal of Rodman Dam. Thank you.
Do you see oxbows reappearing, and do you know how many oxbows have been replaced by river oxbows?
I mean, they're there, and they're all pretty much intact except for one that I know of.
Do you know how many have been replaced by the reservoir? Any idea?
I'm not really aware of any, because you can see all these are very clear from the water being out. But there's one here that was cut, the river was cut in half in 2 places by the Barge Canal Channel right through here. And then when Nixon stopped the project in 71, it stopped the dredging right here, just west of Kendall. So, that one right there, and then the partial restoration plan, part of it is going back and plugging the canal channel on both sides of those 2 locations to restore the flow, the hydrology of that oxbow. So that's the only one that I've observed that has been altered, and even it's still underwater at the 11-foot level, you can't really see.
Well, a river creates an oxbow every, when it flows 10 times its width. So, how long is the reservoir?
About 15 miles,
50 miles?
yeah,
Okay.
crow fly.
So that actually should be a lot of oxbows.
Yeah, there's a lot of,
But,
yes, ma'am.
There has been quite a bit of suggestions that you can do more research during the drawdown. And I am curious about the impact on the water quality of the remaining water in the basin during the drawdown. There's been some suggestion by local legislators or lawmakers, I should say, that pool of water is a viable potable water source for emergencies.
Right.
And so, you were talking about the possibility of doing a long-term drawdown. And I'm just curious, have there ever been any studies on the water quality and, during the drawdown as well as on a regular basis? basis?
I mean, that data was all incorporated multiple years and multiple drawdowns into that water, study, the, nutrient load study that the district, published a few years ago. So, yeah, that's all out there, and there was a Senate study, I'm gonna estimate 5 years ago, that looked at the, I think it didn't look at Rodman Reservoir, it was the lower Ocklawaha River, but it was basically Rodman Reservoir, as a potential potable water source, and it talked about it being able to produce, I forget the number, honestly, it was tens of millions of gallons a day, potentially for public potable use without causing significant harm.
But if that was the same water management district study, it said that a free-flowing river would provide more water supply if that was your interest.
Yeah, I don't know.
And what about the cost?
See, he leaves that out
Viable
on
thing to
purpose.
Well, I think, and this is my very
very
limited
decisive.
knowledge of it at this point, and not having read any of these studies recently, the biggest thing I've heard is that right now, there's not a significant population center close to the reservoir, which would make it a much cheaper water option, versus having to pipe it significant distances to where there are currently large population bases. Yes.
Also, just to support that, and I'm sorry I didn't get to address the gentleman, I apologize for not remembering his name before he had to leave.
Larry Harvey.
Yeah, Larry Harvey.
Thank you.
Yep.
There have been a lot of studies about that, and without getting into complex chemistry, you actually brought a really good point forward when you talked about the amount of total organic carbon that is present in that reservoir. The vast majority of that TOC is dissolved. Dissolved organic carbon upon chlorination or chloramination as required for drinking water will form disinfection byproducts. Those byproducts are carcinogenic. Trihalomethane and haloacetic acids are of great concern to surface water bodies that have to use that water. It is perhaps a viable, but by far not an economical alternative. In addition, if that water were to be used for a secondary non-drinking water purpose, your point also is well taken, the conveyance of that water to somewhere that would be a large enough population center for irrigation or industrial would be again so extremely expensive. I believe we really can't rely on that water body being useful more than a free flowing.
Yes.
I had a couple of questions. So are you accepting written comments beyond
Absolutely.
tonight?
Absolutely,
And
yeah.
do those come to, who do
Yeah,
they go
you can-
to?
If you wanna give them to me or the the gentleman over by the door.
But we can mail them?
Yeah, you can mail them. I've got a stack of cards over there. You
Okay.
can mail or
Where
scan
do
an
those comments
email,
go?
however you wanna do it. I'd be happy to accept those.
And how do I'm just curious,
Probably accept those till, let's see, what's today, 17th? Take them till the end of the month. Is that good for everybody? It gives you a couple weeks to send us.
Where do
a
those
written
comments go?
comment Via
And-
email or, letter or hard snail mail, whatever.
and just kind of understand, so how did the comments from tonight, are they recorded or anybody recording that or anything?
Let's see, as far as taking
It
notes,
might
I
be
haven't been
Matt's.
able to take notes because I've been
Okay.
answering questions. I mean, I've gotten, I think, the kind of the different feelings and the different things you've asked for. We've got a lot of people who work in different departments, different agencies. So I think, I've heard more testing maybe during the drawdown. So, we're capturing all this. And if you make sure you put in writing what you said, or if you think of anything else that you didn't say tonight, please put that in writing. We'll incorporate that all into the record.
And
I
what's
started
the-
getting emails this morning, so I knew probably Karen started a social media thing of send Mickey your opinions about you want the drawdown and you want the river restored.
Facebook.
When I get 6 or 7 of these in the morning before I even leave the house, I'm like, okay, I think I know who's up to this, so, which is fine. And, that's what
It wasn't Karen, it was Margaret.
well, and she sent me one too. before the-
We're always,
Yeah, and
so
that's,
I love to hear.
that's good. Look, I would much rather have all of you all in here, even though you don't all agree on everything, and giving us comments, than having one person show up, like I said, happened 16 years ago. It goes a lot slower, 2 hours, when I've got one person in here versus when I got like 60 or 70 people in here.
We
Yes,
can
ma'am.
make it even more lively if you'd like.
I just,
You know what, I really appreciate everybody's been respectful of each other, has let each other speak one at a time, whether you agree or not. And I do agree that there's a lot more common, but, a free-flowing river versus a dam reservoir is a very polarizing thing. I've been doing this for a while, and how many people in here know about Hetch Hetchy? Raise your hand if you know Hetch Hetchy. Okay, Hetch Hetchy's a dam that was created to flood the sister valley of Yosemite in California over 100 years ago to create a water source for San Francisco. And it was a very polarizing issue, and there are still 3 Hetch Hetchy bumper stickers riding around that I've seen. And it's still there. I went there on a vacation one time, and I wanted to go see this dam. When Schwarzenegger was governor, he commissioned a study on it that's about that thick that I downloaded. And so, you know, these things exist in other places. Rodman's not, you know, they're all unique, but there are similar situations. Yes.
Is the state plan to restore Hetch Hetchy?
I don't know. Not
Okay.
at this point.
Well, I just wanted to say
It's still there.
this before we run out of time, about the Camp Branch Canal.
Yeah.
Because you said if the river was restored, that all of that would have to be taken up. So, we keep doing these special projects, so I suggest not spending, I thought it was 200,000, and then tonight you said 300,000.
That's an estimate, you know, and I haven't had that estimate in
Right.
front of me lately, and the project has not been put out to bid yet. So
Okay.
the exact amount is unknown.
I suggest not spending that because the canal's dumping in, I mean, the creek's dumping into the canal anyway. Or more on replacing the Camp Branch Canal culvert to stop manatees from getting stuck in it. And $2 million for manatee safety structures for Buckman locks according to that inspection report. And another $2 million on repairs, on the dam. Just last year, 300,000 was, under 300,000, according to you, was spent last year to remove floating logs from the dam and berm, and the logs are already piled up again. I suggest Greenway managers stop spending so much money that is contrary to the state plan, which is to restore the hydrology of the Ocklawaha River and proceed with the partial restoration plan.
Thank you. But again, at this point, we don't have a permit to
Right.
pursue restoration, and there hasn't been an
Well,
appropriate.
you have
Who
to
files
ask-
the permit?
you
Who
have to
files
ask
the
for the
permit?
permit.
Who asks for the permit and who files the permit?
You have to
So-
ask Water
And the
Management
permit
District.
was submitted in the late
So we're
90s.
asking.
We're asking you to ask for that permit and let Water Management
resubmit.
I will
start.
let leadership know.
Please, thank you.
People above my level, yes.
I mean, speaking to the funding issue, do these come out of different pools of money, like for,
It's all
you
tax
know,
money.
for repairs and upkeep and, as opposed
There are
to,
a lot of different funding categories.
because, you know, as Karen's mentioned, you know, these little nibbles of money, you know, would add up to enough money to, you know,
Yeah. And
open the dam. We're not saying get rid of it completely, we're just saying, you know, let the river go by.
And the oldest, well, the most recent, but they're old estimates I've heard, and they vary depending on whose viewpoint, because everybody has their own opinion on this. The most recent estimates, and again, they're old, was somewhere between 14 and 25 million to pursue partial restoration.
But that would include putting out fishing ramps near all of the boat ramps and things like that. There's a lot that goes into the restoration plan. And it will not remove the dam, it will breach the dam where the channel could be reconnected. So there's a lot of misinformation. And I really don't like this. The divide that's being created in this room is unnecessary by all this wrong information. That it just keeps coming up every year. And when we submit our comments, I don't think they go past this department. I don't even know if they go up above this pay grade, because we say the same thing every time. And this divide is still here, and the comments that come up are incorrect. So where is the information coming from? The person who stood up and left did not want to hear water management tell about the evaporation rate of Rodman. He doesn't want to hear the facts. So this is where misinformation is coming from.
Not from you.
I just have one comment on me. Mr. Thomas, you mentioned that it costs $150,000 or something. I have a newspaper source, I don't know the name, I can send it to you. It says currently we spend between $300,000 to $500,000 each year to maintain the Buckman Lock, Factory Dam, and Rodman Reservoir.
Okay.
He also mentions $25 million to destroy the dam. The cost to breach the dam would soon pay for itself with maintenance savings. And we could stop putting deadly poison into our water and earth, and these chemicals kill fish and are hazardous to humans.
Okay.
We agree with some of you and not some of you.
And that's, you know, there's
It's a
people
lot of
on both
money.
sides of
It's
it.
a lot of
Yeah,
money.
yeah.
If the river could flow, if we get the river to flow, the vegetation will disappear, which is your big vegetation.
Well, they still do aquatic plant treatment on the Ocklawaha and Silver Rivers.
And they
We
don't
mentioned
need
earlier.
to, they don't need to.
Some of that would be
Yeah,
really.
but they do do it. So, okay. Anybody got any other comments they want to make? We've got 5 minutes. Yes.
I'm going to send you some written comments, but I think a dimension that needs to be examined in relation to everything is, sorry, can you hear me now? I have a little voice. So I think another issue that needs to be examined in terms of the drawdown, in terms of this issue generally, is there's a very serious public health aspect, which is the fact that the largemouth bass downstream of the Rodman Dam are so contaminated with mercury that women of childbearing age and children are advised by the Florida Department of Health not to eat them. This came up at the stakeholder meeting.
And
But
I looked it up too, and there was overlap in the Department of Health website. It's broken down by counties and by river segments, and it actually had where it had the Ocklawaha River. The way the segments were broken down, when I looked at them and clicked on the different counties, there was an overlap between Marion and Putnam, I believe, that had where the fishery recommendations were different.
It's
far,
like
even
one
though
a
it's for
month,
the same
I think,
section.
was the other one,
I
yeah.
thought, well,
Upstream.
yeah.
It's different reaches.
Yeah, but it's available
talking
on the
about
Department of
state.
Health.
So, but what I'm bringing up is not necessarily, is not that, but I think, I was looking at a lot of different case studies. There's some research that's come out of Ohio now that when you restore rivers and remove dams, there tends to be less contamination of pollutants like mercury. So either during the drawdown or in exploring options, I think the public health aspect, specifically with fish contamination, because as discussed, this is an area where people fish, specifically low-income families a lot of the time who might be fishing for subsistence. So it's something that should be examined.
So that's what they found in me, the contamination levels of the fish and rock.
Exactly.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm just curious, what happens with all these comments after the meeting?
Thank you.
They get compiled into the record, and they're available for whoever wants to read them to read them.
But you talk about, this being above your pay grade, or that being, do any of your, not that it's anybody could possibly be your superior, but.
Oh, there's 2 of them in here right now. He's my direct supervisor, and he's his boss.
So you're right.
Who's here?
What actually, is this forwarded to the legislators, or?
No, ma'am.
So it's just dead end?
But it's available for them to read. If anybody wants to know,
Our department, we use it to make decisions at our level that we can. As far as reaching out to your legislature, that's, everyone has a right to do that. They can hear from you directly, they don't have to be channeled through our comments.
Right, they don't ever seek to
So if they
hear.
don't ask for it, they don't receive it as a fact.
Those comments are public record.
yes, sir. Yeah, all of it.
Okay, I've had enough. I can't take it.
Okay, 2 minutes left. Everybody ready to go home?
Go ahead.
Oh, yeah, one more comment. One more comment. One more comment. Ms. Rainbow.
My name is Jennifer Carr. I'm a Board of Trustees member of the Florida Defenders of the Environment. As you may know, Florida Defenders of the Environment is the leading organization in Florida seeking to undo the environmental damages caused by the ill-fated cross-Florida barge canal. FDE seeks a simple remedy for these damages. It is a remedy that has been supported by 7 consecutive governors of Florida. This has never been a partisan issue. These 7 governors were both Republicans and Democrats. The remedy is to restore a free-flowing Ocklawaha River pursuant to the partial restoration alternative developed by the United States Forest Service in cooperation with the state of Florida. Florida Defenders of the Environment is not the only organization that supports restoration of a free-flowing Ocklawaha River. However, we are the organizing member for the Alliance to Restore the Ocklawaha River. 27 other environmental organizations from across Florida have recently joined Florida Defenders of the Environment in supporting restoration of a free-flowing Ocklawaha River, and more environmental groups are joining us even now. These organizations represent many tens of thousands of Floridians who are concerned about the environment. We understand that tonight's meeting is about a temporary drawdown for management of undesirable aquatic vegetation in Rodman Reservoir, but we also understand the best approach to management of undesirable aquatic vegetation is not maintaining status quo. The best approach is to restoring a healthy Ocklawaha River and a healthier St. John's is for the state of Florida to recommit to the path it was on just 20 years ago, moving forward with river restoration. All of the planning and studies deemed necessary have been completed. The results all point to river restoration as the best path forward, both economically and for the environment. We urge you to move forward with restoration. Please begin now, initiate a phased and permanent drawdown of the reservoir as the first step towards river restoration. Over in California, they're removing 4 hydroelectric dams on the Klamath River by 2022 for the same reasons, but on a bigger scale. And the easy thing about the Kirkpatrick Dam is that you can leave the spillway intact and just remove the rocks out of the river channel. That's it, easy. The people of Florida are counting on you. Please do not let us down. Thank you for the opportunity to address these issues with you this evening.
Yay! It's 8 o'clock, and everybody's got notes to get to. I really want to thank everybody for coming tonight. Please drive safe.
We wanna get a date on everybody's calendar.
Yeah.